We've got just one more minute. A few more students are coming in from the other room. There's several open seats up in here. If you would, just kind of take a seat. There's several up here on the second and third row as well. Okay. Are we ready to begin? Good morning. My name is Barry Brantley, and I'm professor of hospitality management at Delgado Community College and coordinator of our hospitality program. I can tell you, when we were discussing doing a career showcase, one of the first things that I have to own up to is when I was in high school, I knew exactly nothing about the hospitality industry. And so we thought it might be helpful for people that have studied hospitality management to share why they studied hospitality and what areas they went into, and also for employers to be able to share what they're looking for. So when you're out there looking for a job, you already know what's expected and how to be best prepared for it. Before we begin, though, if I may, draw your attention to this flyer that's in each of your packets. If you didn't get one, the ladies at the registration desk have extra copies. This is going to be useful as we go through the conversation today. As you can see on the screen, we have several gears that are all working together. That's just the way our industry works. We have a color code for each of the career pathways that are going to be shared, and our speakers today are also going to have that color code represented by their name, so you can say, okay, these are the folks that talk to us about lodging. These are the ones that talk to us about tourism. On the back of this flyer, there's a list of courses that are required to complete that degree. And on the front also, I wanted to highlight the kinds of jobs that are available in this state, in this region specifically. And hospitality is the fastest growing industry in Louisiana. It employs 1 out of every 9 employees in Greater New Orleans. So it's a really, really important industry. We're glad you're here. We thank you for your time. The program is going to move relatively quick, but before we start with our speakers, I wanted to share with you our industry supports this initiative The Hotel Lodging Association has been a longtime sponsor both on the state level in Greater New Orleans, and the Louisiana Restaurant Association is very much behind having these career conversations. To start that career conversation, I'll ask Rachel Ballot from the Louisiana Restaurant Association to bring words.
Good morning, everyone. How are y'all today? Y'all excited about missing class today? Yeah? All right, I'm just going to do a few icebreakers. Where are my 8th graders at? Shout out to 8th grade. What about my freshmen? What about my sophomores? We got any sophomores today? What about juniors? Where's that senior class? Oh, come on. Y'all are graduating in a few months. Let's hear y'all. Where's my senior class? Oh, I guess they haven't had enough coffee and cookies this morning, right? All right, so what I want y'all to do this morning, I want to thank y'all for coming out, especially for y'all who are thinking about coming into the industry. What I want y'all to do now, as you are going through these, as you're listening through all these people come talk, I want y'all to start thinking about what restaurants you like to eat at, what hotels you like to go to. Is this your first time at a fancy hotel? Have y'all seen the bathrooms yet here? Oh my goodness, right? So if you are thinking about all these things as you're going through, starting from the lobby, did somebody greet you at the door? Okay. Going through the lobby up the escalators, did y'all see anybody at the escalator standing there? Okay, coming into this lobby, what did you go see first? Did y'all see that coffee stand? What about those cookies? Oh, I know. I saw y'all hit those really hard, right? They got empty jars out there this morning. So what I want you to think about as we are going through all of these speakers today, think about the things that you have to go through from point A, from the parking garage, to point B, which is where y'all are at now. It's not just about the front desk. It's not just about the kitchen. It's not just about trying to park a car. There's more behind the scenes. As you can see, if you look around, there's also things that are set up. There's AV, there's cameras, there's these rooms that have these exit signs. You know, these walls actually do disappear after a while. We can actually connect all the rooms, correct? Right. So when you're thinking about these things, it's not just what you see on TV. Trust me, all restaurants do not yell at each other. Been there, done that, it's not there. But what I want you to do is, what pathway would you like to go through? You know, most of y'all, probably about 90% of y'all, would actually have a career in hospitality restaurant industry. Either through college, right out of high school. Some of y'all already have jobs. Who has jobs in the industry right now? Raise your hand. Only a few. Who works at fast food? Anybody else works in, I don't know, pizza joints, McDonald's, anything like that? I know those are usually easy summer jobs. Concession stands, those are all involved with the industry. So as you're going through all of this, I want you to think of careers that you might possibly want to do, and probably not something that you would like to start off at, but you can always move up in it. And there's more positions available as you learn them. So, anything else? Enjoy.
Thank you. And Dr. Chaco will be next. A great supporter within our District 1 here in Greater New Orleans is the Greater New Orleans Hotel Lodging Association, and Dr. Chaco is our liaison with this organization, has many years in teaching hospitality. And as we transition, I'm just going to move to each of the speakers' names. We have Ms. Catrice Sneed here, is going to be helping us stay on time. This is going to go really fast, guys, so we appreciate your patience and everyone being here, and then we'll do our best to provide that information. Thank you very much, Dr. Chaco, for your support.
Hey, good morning and welcome. That was a great introduction by Rachel, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that. But I mean, I'm a good example of what it is to be in the industry. I'm originally from India, and my family immigrated to the United States. And I worked in hotels in Egypt. I worked in the Caribbean, in St. John and the Virgin Islands. I worked in Massachusetts, and then I finally ended up over here. So the hospitality industry is an industry that serves people from all over the world and involves employees who are from all over the world. And it's an amazing business to be in. And the one thing I can tell you about this industry is this. It is the only industry where people with all skill levels and all educational backgrounds will find a place, right? So if you decide that after high school you don't want to go any further and you want to start working, the hotel industry or the hospitality industry will have a place for you. I have a PhD, and the hospitality industry had a place for me because I taught at UNO for 33 years, right? And now I'm retired, but I'm still working in the industry after retirement. I'm the Director of Education for the Hotel Association. The Hotel Association represents the over 300 hotels that are in the New Orleans area. We also have 40,000 hotel rooms in the city and around. So the association represents all these hotels, and my job is basically to improve the educational attainment of people who are in the industry or people who want to come into the industry. That's your. So for you, you can choose whether you want to go to work in a hotel, you want to work in a restaurant, hospitality, all of those things are just open to you, right? So my time's up. I want to welcome you again. I'm going to stick to it. Right. By the way, for the teachers who are here, I have some brochures that show the career paths in the hotel industry. I'm just going to leave it up here, or any of the students who want it can come in. Okay? So leave it up. Thank you.
Our next speaker is currently a student at Delgado, seeking to graduate this semester. Kane Miller has worked in the hotel and lodging industry and will share a little about his insight.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Kane. I just recently moved here from Lake Charles. I took a lot of my classes at Delgado online, and probably like a bunch of y'all, I had to work during this time period. You know, so I had to take a bunch of classes online and be able to, you know, balance work and school. It was very difficult in the beginning, but finding out that Delgado was one of the only colleges in Louisiana that offered a, I just noticed the 2-minute sign. Knowing that Delgado had hotel classes, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Knowing that Delgado had Delgado had hotel classes. Sorry, you guys threw me off.
Just basically the online.
So I took all these classes online. It was very difficult in the beginning, but then after being able to take it, knowing that I could commute back and forth from Lake Charles to New Orleans, it became a lot easier. Mr. Berry helped me out a lot in the beginning, and yeah, that's all I got.
Great.
Sorry, everybody, I kind of got thrown off.
All right, good morning. How are you folks? Let me try one more time. Good morning. How are you? That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're looking for in our industry, nothing but personality. All right, so the fact that you can graduate from high school, join our industry, in 6 months apply for a promotion is unmatched. But what's amazing to me is how many people tell me that we don't have the talent in our city. Do you believe that? No. Thank you very much, nor do I. But we fight that battle every day. We fight the stigma of people thinking that there's no opportunities for individuals coming out of high school to work in a professional career. And I can tell you that's nothing but hogwash, if that's the word I'm going to use. Okay? So I'm looking for personality, which I see plenty up in this room. I'm looking for individuals who want to not only make a stake in our city, but grow into a rewarding career. I'm looking for individuals that don't mind just putting in that equity. And what do I mean by equity? Coming to work. You're going to school, which should prepare you to come to work. We're looking for individuals to come to work, make a career, raise a family, and then get promoted. If you think you fit that description, see me. If not, work for somebody else. Okay? And again, my time is up. Thank you very much.
Now we're moving to career pathways in the restaurant industry.
Good morning, guys. My name is Corey Bourgeois. I'm the kitchen manager for Dickie Brennan's Palace Cafe. I started out October 13, 1997, 16 years old, sophomore in high school. I was at John McDonald Senior High School. first and only job I've ever had. It'll be 21 years this is coming October. Started out as a dishwasher to being senior kitchen manager. I worked at every single restaurant in our company. We have 4 restaurants. I have opened up Dicky Brennan Steakhouse, Bourbon House, and our last one, which is Top Local. Just because you start there, don't think to the bottom. I have never thought that I'll be in a position that I am in right now, and it's still escalating every single day. My next move is to be general manager, and talking to the owners is going to happen within the next few years. So don't think that just because you started out as a dishwasher, you can't go further. That's not true. You choose your destiny. My destiny is through the roof. So, just Dr. Delgado, Mr. Brindley has been like real instrumental helping me out. He always makes sure I'm taking the classes that I need to take to get where I'm going. I'm just getting back in school. I had some issues that I had to get out to take care of my family, my mom and my dad. So I'll be graduating next semester. You know, so the other thing is,
Thank you, Corey.
I'm so glad I didn't have to follow Mr. Jones, because that would have been a little difficult. So good morning, Tabitha McCabe, Director of Management Training for Creole Cuisine. I work for a family-owned group that has everything from daiquiri shops to pizza works to fine dining, casual. I've been in the industry, I don't know, probably as long as your parents have been alive. I started off, much as Corey, I started off waiting tables, hosting, got into the day-to-day operations, and then ended up where I am in the training department. Now, one of the things that I believe, and I always have a lot of passion for, is making sure that individuals completely understand what it takes in order for you to be able to complete an application and go on an interview. Take pride in yourself. How do you look? How do you present yourself? Do you walk in? Do you shake hands, make eye contact? How does your clothes look? Are they neat? Are they well groomed? You don't have to have the fanciest. You just need to look like you put a little time into what you were doing. And then also ask questions, be engaged. Anytime someone's coming in and they are applying for a job, I'd rather hire somebody who has the drive and energy and desire than somebody who has past experience, because I can teach the experience. I can't teach the attitude or the behaviors. And that's huge, especially when we're talking about, I got to put you in front so that you're going to come in contact with someone and make them want to come back, whether it's to our hotel or whether it's to one of our restaurants. So thank you so much. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of the day.
It's going to be huge.
Well, it's no shocker that New Orleans is always rated one of the higher, the most important places where you have food and beverage, operations. We have so much passion in the city. The people, it starts in your family, and a lot of people have experienced that maybe in their family. So when you look at careers and things like that, you want to bring that passion for, especially like food and beverage here. New Orleans is one of the top places. Everybody might have that, or people that are interested might have it, but Delgado is where you get the skills to actually bring that passion and then turn it into something you can make a career out of. That's definitely one of the things that helped get my career to the next level. Right now, I'm the assistant general manager at a small Marriott property. It's got about 208 rooms. We have just a little food and beverage operation there, where we're doing breakfast, and we have a beverage management program there. But I didn't get to that point by, just walk into that job. I started as a busboy at the Ritz-Carlton, just basically cleaning tables and stuff like that. One of the things that kind of Corey said is it doesn't matter where you started. It matters, where you're going. So going to work at the Ritz and then deciding to start at Delgado and to get the skills through their programs that were able to get my career to the next level is something that's been the main driver in the career. So a lot of people are passionate about things. It might be, a beverage operation. You might be able to run a bar or a restaurant, but you might want to start your own business. And, Delgado is where you get the skills to actually make that restaurant profitable. They teach you the fundamentals of handling, an operation like that. So you can bring that passion, you can have it all day long, but a lot of restaurants aren't successful, from a monetary standpoint. Delgado is where you get those skills to then actually bring that to bear in the actual industry. So, it's been a great thing for my life, my career, and I love working for Marriott. Every 6 months, like Tom said, you can get a promotion. So once you learn something top to bottom, you move on to the next thing and then just keep rolling. Thank you, guys.
Did Ms. Martin make it? I tell you, we're going to go ahead and go to the next level, which is in tourism, and Ms. Kimmy Carlos.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kimmy Carlos. I'm Director of Sales of Royal Carriages. We do French Quarter history tours through the French Quarter. I've been in the tourism industry for 19 years. I started off as front desk clerk at the Holiday Inn Superdome, but I've done everything in hotels. I've worked for a CVB for 8 years, and currently the last 6 months as a Director of Sales. I just graduated Delgado actually last year. So if you believe I was executive director and graduating, you never stop learning. I think that's the most important thing. And always, tourism is about contacts and having people have a good time while they're in the city. And I've been very passionate about coming from living in New Orleans, being from Louisiana, and I want everyone to have this impression when they leave here that they had just as good a time and they love my city and love my state as much as I do. And that's why I love the tourism side of hospitality. But never stop learning, and know the connections that you make here, someone sitting next to you may be your boss one day. So never burn a bridge, please.
Mr. Roby Robichaux.
Hi, my name is Roby Robichaux. I'm the tour manager for Gray Line New Orleans. Gray Line is a locally owned and operated company for New Orleans. We're owned by the New Orleans Steamboat Company, and we give tours of New Orleans. The first thing we do is we sell New Orleans. We sell you. You are going to come work for us, and you're going to sell New Orleans as well. We look for people who are passionate about what they're doing. If you can be passionate and love history just a little bit, you can be a tour guide. You can meet people from all over the world and tell them about the place that you live, the city that you love. But if you're not a person who likes to speak to people, then we have bus drivers, we have ticket sellers, we have concierges who work in the French Quarter, who give information about the French Quarter in addition to selling tours. Like I said, selling tours is not our number one thing. Our number one thing is selling the city of New Orleans, and you can do that. Thank you.
Ms. Erin Schreffer will be here to share information about the catering and convention services.
Hi, guys. I got my start about 10 years ago working for a destination management company. So that's literally a company that sells New Orleans. And I started out as an intern, and I worked my way up to a sales manager. And then I switched over to Sodexo at Tulane University, where I had the pleasure to work with managed services as far as catering, resident dining, and help bring on Yulman Stadium whenever they launched their first year. I'm also now an instructor at Delgado Community College, and I love the fact that I get to not only represent you in the industry, but also get to educate you as well. You are so very lucky because you are in one of the #1 destinations in the world for people to come and visit, and that is something to be proud of.
Mr. Donald Payne with Marriott Hotel New Orleans.
I feel like I should run because the clock is on me. All right, so very quickly, we have a culture in this hotel, a tradition. The tradition is, when I say, how are you doing, you say excellent. Got me? How you guys doing today? Excellent. Fantastic. My name is Donald Payne. I'm the resident manager here in the hotel. I'm going to talk to you very quickly about catering. Anyone know what catering is? Okay. I would ask you, but I don't have time. So, I'll use an example. So think about your wedding day. When your wedding day comes, you want to have certain kind of cake, certain kind of food. You want a certain kind of wine. You want to be treated a certain way. You want your room to be set a certain way. All those things can happen in a hotel, specifically in this hotel, from 20 people to 200 people to 1,000 people. So in this hotel, catering is a huge part of how we make money and create experiences for the people who come to New Orleans or live in New Orleans and have their special day. 1 minute. So I have worked in 7 to 8 different states. I started hospitality back in 1990. I can tell you, if you talk about catering, would you rather have your wedding catered in New Orleans or anywhere else? Because what you get here, you can't get anywhere else. The kind of service you get here, you can't get anywhere else. The food that you get here, you know you can't get anywhere else. So if you're interested in pursuing a career in catering or hospitality or anything that's around service, this is the place to be. We look forward to having you in the Marriott family. Thank you.
Now for meetings and events, Ms. Casey Ronquillo.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Casey Ronquillo, and I am one of the group sales managers for the Jefferson Convention and Visitors Bureau. We are a nonprofit entity that is the official destination marketing organization for Jefferson Parish. I've been employed with them for almost 4 years, and I find that it's very rewarding to work for a CVB because I get to promote different businesses that are in the hospitality industry, whether if it's a hotel, a restaurant, or attraction. One of the many duties that I do as I perform with the Jefferson CVB is that I get to travel to different trade shows all across the country. And I get to entice different groups to have, whether there were reunions in Jefferson Parish or different meetings and so forth. I'm actually a recent graduate of Delgado, graduated in 2015. What I liked about attending Delgado is that they had flexible classes while I worked full time. So whether if I took the classes online or in person, Mr. Barry Brettonley was definitely very instrumental to my education along with the other professors because they actually work in the industry. So it's not just any regular teacher. So they actually bring a lot of knowledge to the table. One thing, a piece of advice that I can give each and every one of you is network, network, network. I actually have my current position today because of attending a networking event. So definitely smile, put your best foot forward, shake the hands. You never know who's going to be your next boss in this room. Thank you so much for coming today.
Mr. Jeff Anning is Vice President for External Affairs for the Greater New Orleans Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Good morning. I'm actually jealous of you guys because this morning y'all woke up, and I'm assuming that most of the people in this room have an idea that they may want to be in hospitality. I had no idea I wanted to be in this. Back in 1990, I was driving a truck, humping boxes, delivering lights and sound equipment for the hospitality industry while I was going to school full time. Working full time, going to school full time. A lot of y'all may end up in that same boat while you go to college. End of the day, I moved through that job, went into sales, and had the opportunity to network with somebody else into a sales position. And 22 years later, I'm a vice president at that organization, the New Orleans CVB. I'm no different than you. I started out in college in remedial math and remedial English, even though I had great grades coming out of high school. I'm this big because of Corey Bourgeois, by the way. White chocolate bread pudding is a thing. But meanwhile, here's the thing. Know that you're the future of this industry. This industry is universal. You start out in Metairie, you start out in St. Bernard, you start out on the West Bank, you work in a hotel or a restaurant, whatever. You go to Long Island, New York, you go to Los Angeles, same thing. Same jobs. You go anywhere, you're going to do the same thing. This job is universal. That is, hospitality translates everywhere you want to go. Don't think that New Orleans stops or the jobs in New Orleans stop here. They go everywhere. Remember that. Also remember or know, we're booking the convention center in New Orleans right now to 2032. You have longevity in this business. Okay, it's gonna be here. You have the opportunity. You heard from several people that have already made it in this industry. I'm one of them. But know that you have that opportunity, and it's all about your will and drive. You've heard people say network, don't burn any bridges, all that stuff. But here's the thing, be persistent. If you know you wanna do something, if you find a job you know you want, go back to them. They turn you down, go back to them again. They turn you down, go back to them again. That's all I got, thanks.
So that covers the content by different studies of career pathways. What I also thought you might be interested in is hearing from some of our students who have experienced some things unique in the hospitality pathway by like studying at Disney World, like transferring to University of New Orleans to get your degree, continue your education there. And then also we have a student who's a graduate of Warren Easton to talk about why she chose to stay in hospitality. We'll start with Caroline Andrews.
Hey y'all, I am a Delgado alum. I graduated in 2016. As you can see, I did go work for Disney World twice, and the great thing about that is I got college credit for it. So that's part of working for Disney, which I got to go to like Magic Kingdom on my days off, which was great. You get to, I got credit all for that, which helped me lead to it. And then I transferred to UNO. I'm still in hospitality. I'm getting my bachelor's degree there, hopefully my master's. And part of that is that I get to carry that with me. And Disney started my love of hospitality. That's why I went back into it. And so I think it's an important part. And it's not just in New Orleans. You can take your hospitality degree that you get from Delgado, and you can take it anywhere in the country, even in the world. So yeah, that's it.
And our last speaker is Deja Powell. Again, attended Warren Easton and now is in the hospitality program at Delgado.
Hi, I'm Deja Powell. I graduated from Warren Easton. I'm a current Delgado student. I am focusing on tourism. I recommend dual enrollment because it gives you high school credit and your college credit. It gives you the push you need for college without actually being in a college from university. And I just recommend tourism because it's very broad. You can work anywhere. It just, I'm sorry.
That's good. So now we have just a few minutes for question and answer. We have a cube microphone in the back. If you have any questions from any of our graduates in the program or those students who are currently studying or any of our employers, now's the time to raise your hand. We'll get the cube to you to ask a question. Any questions? Anybody has any questions? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll cut to the chase. Everything that you've heard, for the most part, today in today's showcase has been recorded and it's going to be shared so that if you want to share it with your parents, say, look, this is something I'm thinking about. Or if your instructors want to share it in the class and say, let's learn a little bit about some of the career choices that may be available on some of the employers and what they're looking for. This is going to be available on a YouTube channel. It's also going to be through some more social outreach. We're also going to have information available on Delgado's website. So it's not going to happen tomorrow, but I can tell you it will be happening soon, and we'll send notices to your instructors. No questions from the group then? Then what I'll ask our liaisons from Delgado to do, I'll have 3 tours lined up on this side. So if you will, hold up the signs of the tours you're going to be coordinating on this side, and then 3 students to stand on this side of the meeting room. Hold up the sign so everyone can see. Oh, I'm sorry, there was a question?
No problem.
I apologize. Go ahead.
All right.
Just talk right into the box.
In the box? Oh, yeah.
In the box.
So I see they have like a lot of different like sections of the program and stuff like that. So how soon do you have to know which route you want to go before you start?
For our advising purposes, students should know after their first semester which concentration they're leaning towards, because the goal is to get you completed within 2 years, if that works for your schedule. Again, a lot of our students are working full-time, so it may not be where they can go to college full-time. But ideally, after your first semester, we want to advise you so you don't waste time taking courses that don't apply to your degree. I neglected to mention, too, the reason that we had those 6 gears of different industry capacities in our hospitality management program is we looked at where is the best money and the best opportunity with volumes of jobs. So there's lots of jobs that weren't listed on there, but we targeted where in Louisiana, and specifically in our district in Greater New Orleans, are the most jobs that have good pay. And good pay for us means starting, like $28,000 and up, and as all the speakers have said, rapid opportunity for promotion and growth. Any other questions before we get, yes ma'am. There's a cube up here.
Okay, so my question is, can I study more than one like industry? Like if I want to do a double major?
Absolutely. And hospitality management is a business degree. So it has a lot of emphasis in marketing as well. Many of our students, though, they choose to complete one diploma first and then add additional hours so they complete those additional degrees. You know, life can be challenging. So you don't want to, we discourage our students being too overloaded. You'll get there eventually, but if you take it in the right sequencing and the right steps, it's easier for you to make sure that you complete and earn the grades that you know you're capable of.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Y'all ready to do a few tours?
Yes.
So here's how it's going to work. Delgado students, if you would hold your signs up. So we have tourism, restaurants, beverage management to my left. We have lodging, meeting and event planning, and catering to my right. So if as the signs, as we go into the hallway here, if you would be respectful of the other meetings that are in place, we're going to line up to your groups. The groups will have about 30 minutes on each tour site, and then you'll meet back in the lobby here and load your coaches back to the respective schools. Thank you for your time. Have a great time in your tour. So go out here so they'll go to you, yeah. And spread out so they have enough room to get up there.
You can stop.